Charlie Kirk spent 13 years telling you Silicon Valley billionaires were destroying America. He said it at the RNC. He said it on campus tours. He said it to 500,000 donors who believed him. And here's what he didn't tell you. 48 hours before he was assassinated, Kirk sent a WhatsApp message to a group that included a rabbi and several pro-Israel associates. The message read, Jewish donors play into all the stereotypes. I cannot and will not be bullied like this, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. Now, those texts are confirmed authentic. The FBI has them. Many of us have already heard them and read them ourselves before. However, one of his biggest donors, a Silicon Valley tech mogul, had just pulled $2 million a year because Charlie would not cancel Tucker Carlson. Okay, TPUSA raised $400 million, 99% of it anonymously. The single largest donor was a private Texas foundation. Excuse me. Was a private Texas foundation that nobody knew existed until a Forbes journalist found it in IRS filings the week that Kirk died. The dark money pipeline routes through Fidelity, Schwab, Vanguard, the financial backbone of Silicon Valley. Excuse me. His top advisor at TPUSA was Ginni Thomas, wife of a sitting Supreme Court Justice, Clarence Thomas. And the man privately managing Elon Musk's behavior via texts was publicly calling tech billionaires the enemy of the American people. Oh, and before all of this, he was paying minors to run a secret troll farm spreading COVID disinformation. Or I should call it malinformation, which we'll get into later. But to get into it a little bit right now, that basically means information that's true, but the government just dislikes. Twitter and Facebook both had it shut down. Tonight, we're going to follow every dollar, every text, every wire. By the end of this episode, you will have a very different picture of what, not who, Charlie Kirk actually was. Okay, so first things first, before we get into all of tonight's episode, there's already been some breaking news on some things regarding the Tyler Robinson and Charlie Kirk case. So I figure I'm going to go into a couple of those links first, and then, and only then, we will break into what I've already scripted out for tonight's episode. So first things first, I'm going to share my screen. We're going to show some tweets. I got this tweet from Baron Coleman. Now, if you guys haven't already followed him, I would recommend doing so. If you're not on Twitter, I totally respect that. That's fine. For lack of better phrasing, it's the only app that'll have me nowadays. I'll be honest. To summarize it, I've been kicked off of Facebook, Snapchat, WhatsApp, Instagram, Reddit, TikTok. The only apps I'm on now are YouTube and Twitter. So if you want me, find me there. You know, I'm on TikTok, but I'm not making any more content for the app. It's just a little bit too much work for what it's yielding me. If I make a bigger following on YouTube, maybe I'll retransplant over to TikTok. But right now, it's just not worth getting banned every couple months. Being honest, right? But Baron Coleman, great guy over on Twitter. If you guys are over on Twitter, give him a follow. He used to be a lawyer. He actually still is a lawyer. He has an active license. He just doesn't really use it a whole lot. He's nearing retirement. But he is already exploding some things, and he has been for months on this topic. But he said, quote, I'm all for honest debate on the Tyler Robinson timeline, but it's weird how many people insisting he was arrested on the 12th ignore the Utah County inmate booking sheet that says he was arrested by B. Davis at 10 p.m. on September 11th. An honest take must include this fact. And he has the screenshot of it as well. So I'll put it on my screen. You guys can see it up here as well for you guys to use in your own data, your own analysis, all sorts of stuff. Feel free. Right there it says Tyler James Robinson from Washington, Utah. His date of birth. I mean, it's got everything in here. Arrested on 9/11 around 10 p.m., which we'll get into here in a little bit. Now, that's pretty crazy, but we're just going to objectively discuss how that is not true. And that's why this is all breaking news. Now, it's been speculated for months. That this guy was arrested at one time but publicly declared another. And that's fine. That's whatever. But obviously, when you find out the truth, it completely disrupts the narrative that we've been fed. And that, in my opinion, is proof of a cover-up. It's proof of a conspiracy. And as far as that's concerned, if the government's covering up the details, they're involved, right? If I put my hand in a cookie jar, and mom comes home and asks where all the cookies are, and my little brother looks at mom and says, I don't know. But any evidence that we had of it, I accidentally destroyed it. Okay, well, mom, now you're involved. It's kind of similar in this case, right? They're manipulating the evidence that's already existing to fit a narrative that they want us to believe. So, in my opinion, the government is the little brother in this shooting, and we have this on evidence. So, thought I'd share that with you. Got another one. He tweeted this, actually, Baron Coleman. I have confirmed Tyler Robinson was in custody at the Washington County Sheriff's Office at 6:50 p.m. on 9/11/2025. He goes, you may post your apologies below. I'm eager to hear all about how it's normal for people to post confessions in Discord after they are in custody. Some people are having fun. It's always good to have fun when we prove the Fed's lot wrong. Sam Parker over on Twitter. Same thing. He's at based Sam Parker. If you're not following him, definitely recommend it. I actually don't think I myself am. Yeah, let me hit that real quick. I have a small account. I don't really follow a whole lot of people. I kind of just dive deep. I mean, I'd be talking trash over on Twitter. If you see me on Twitter, say hi, but I'm not nice over there, and that's fine. But I'd be calling people out because that's what that app's for. Excuse me. So, bombshell, Sam Parker, or at base Sam Parker. List of people who knew Tyler Robinson was already in custody and that the Discord confession was impossible. Now, I'm not going to read every single name here, but feel free to screenshot it. Some of the big ones, Cash Patel, Dan Bongino, whose wife works for TPUSA, FBI agent Robert Bowles. There's a lot of people that know this is BS, and yet they let it continue to be spewed. It's an issue for me. Now, last but not least, if this one will load, that'll be beneficial for me. I don't know if it's going to. I was trying to find the screenshot of Tyler Robinson discussing his Discord. There it is. Okay, perfect. So, shoot. No, I don't want this TikTok-y crap. Let me just get the screenshot pulled up and I'll read it myself. So it's not gonna show up the best over here on my screen, and maybe I could just change it real quick on the live for the sake of being a good guy. Here, we'll pull it over here so you guys can see it because I think that's important. But it says, hey guys, I have bad news for you all. It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all of this. I'm surrendering through a sheriff friend in a few moments. Thanks for all of the good times and laughs. You've all been so amazing. Thank you for everything. So we know that's crap. And while I fix my stream here, we just know it's crap. We know it's crap. We don't need to be lied to like we're little kids and we don't understand what's going on and mommy's got to make up a story so we can just go to sleep at night. That's not what this is. Look at the time on that. I don't have to fix the stream for you to see that. Look at the time. 9/11, 8:57 p.m. in the same time zone. So don't hit me with the time zone issue. Don't do that. Don't do that. Assume all time zones are accurate. Because we've already done that. The analysis has already been done. Stay with us. He was caught approximately 2.5 hours before that. And Baron Coleman himself discussed this on YouTube. So we'll pull that up. He has a video about this literally just yesterday. Crazy video. Oh, I don't want an advertisement. No, I don't. We're going to switch our account because you bet I have premium. Oh, wow. We're going to turn that down.
When I say pipsqueaks, I mean
because you should be able to hear this just fine.
This.
So,
people who can be used
pull this
against
up,
you.
Right here. These are screenshots from original court documents. 6:25 p.m. So, Tyler, before we begin, I'm just going to read you your rights. Okay. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer before advice. I think that was a typo. It says you have a right to talk to a lawyer for advice before we ask you any questions. You have the right to have a lawyer with you during questioning. If you cannot afford a lawyer, you get what Miranda rights are. I don't need to read it verbatim. 6:25 p.m. Okay, 6:25 p.m. The furthest we can prove publicly is 6:50 p.m. And that's being generous because this right here already says that they're at least discussing things at 6:25. Now, just because you've been Mirandized does not technically mean you're being arrested or charged with a crime. It's kind of just letting you know your rights because people have self-incriminated in the past without meaning to. Hence the name Miranda. A gal named Miranda back in the day, she fucked her day up real bad by telling things she shouldn't have. Vitamin R. She said some things she should not have said. And now we all have more rights. To keep it short and sweet. This is second tall boy. Tonight might be fun. We're only 12 minutes into this. Oh my God. Holy crap. It's going to be a good one. So, he got Mirandized at 6:25. 6:26. 6:26. He said he wants to speak with legal counsel. You get the gist. We have proof that they're lying by at least a few hours on the Fed slop narrative. So, that is our opening statement. Our little funsies. I thought I'd tease you guys real quick. Before we go any deeper. But what do you think? That's the news. The newsy news. I had a whole episode planned. And look, I'll just Scout's honor. My nose is itchy. I need to shave my nose. You guys see me. Very hairy. Very Jewy. Huh. Who said that? Very Jewish man. I'm like that movie, The Game Plan. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson with Madison Pettis. Disney movie. It's that scene where he getting ready for Tatiana. I feel my temperature rising. He's shaving his nose and he cuts himself. I've never done that, but I gotta shave my nose. And I don't know why I gave you that whole 30-second spiel, but I gotta shave my nose. That's just what I gotta do. So piss off. If you don't need to shave your nose, bless your heart. Bless your heart. Now, getting into the funsies. I need to fix my stream so I can stream it on the bigger screen because trying to read off this tiny one is not the best for my eyes. Sometimes I got to take my glasses off and then I look puffy. Dude, you look at the stream, I look like I got punched in the face. I promise you I didn't. I promise. But let's get into some things. So, let's go into section 1 or chapter 1. We're going to call this the contradiction. What were Charlie Kirk's political views? Charlie Kirk built his entire brand on being anti-establishment, being a scrappy outsider, taking on globalists, elites, Silicon Valley gatekeepers, just big guys. At the 2020 RNC, he said, quote, "The American way of life means you speak your mind without retribution, without being kicked off of social media by a self-righteous censor in Silicon Valley." Okay. Okay. However, how does that actually translate? Right? We see these things all over his viewpoints. I think I was actually in this article that I got that link or that quote. Apologize. I was trying to go back down here. There it is. Right. So this is just, it's more paraphrasing than the actual thing. But in the article, it says that he was a self-avowed advocate for free speech. He demonstrated his commitment to spirited disagreement through regular debate events, often in front of large crowds where attendees could challenge his views. And that's fine and dandy. That's why I and millions of people supported him. We're not here to negate any of that. What we're also here to do, or excuse me, what we all are here to do is discuss how it's a little bit more nuanced than that. And how, sadly, Charlie may have been a Manchurian candidate. I mean, and he might not have known what that, or he might not have known that. And with that, I'm actually going to show you guys what the Manchurian candidate is, because a lot of you guys don't know. I've talked about it before on my podcast. I've talked about it with Charlie on my podcast. But to give you the AI overview of it, it's a psychological political theory. Oh, this is the redone. I don't like the redone. Or, yeah. The original one starred Frank Sinatra. And I love Frank Sinatra. My daughter loves Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra's a sweetheart. Bless his heart. He knew that Marilyn Monroe was murdered. He didn't trust the JFK assassination. He was a very, 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 very smart man. And he commonly got wrapped up with schmucks. But anyways, the original version focuses on the Cold War and the Korean War. It's renowned for tension and dark humor, and it's often linked to the JFK assassination. Now, what it kind of is, it's about a soldier getting brainwashed into becoming an assassin for, I think, the government, basically. And the way that it works is he doesn't know. He's like a sleeper cell, right? And in a broader overview, I don't think that Charlie Kirk was a sleeper cell in the literal assassin sense, but I think he was a propaganda machine without realizing that he was. And that sucks. Because many of us bought into Charlie. We didn't actually buy into TPUSA. We had bought into Charlie, right? I even know a lot of left-leaning people who admired Charlie just for the sake of how he tackled debate. Big reason why I had this podcast. Before I got kicked off Facebook, I had 2,000 people that I was friends with on Facebook, which basically we could call it followers, because obviously you don't know everybody, right? But many of them told me, hey, even if I disagree with you, I really admire your opinion because it's well formulated. And to not toot my own horn too much, I'll challenge anybody, even if I actually agree with them. I'll challenge your opinion just to make sure yours is robust and mine is well formulated as well. Because a lot of us we think things and feel things without actually being able to support it, right? That was something good that Charlie did. Something that he did well. Something that many people admired him across both sides of the aisle, right? However, I'm really coming to the conclusion that he might have been a little bit deeper than that, and he didn't even know, right? So we're going to get into another link. Close out my other one. Big tech is not a big threat to conservative speech. The RNC just proved it. This is a beautiful, 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 beautiful article. We'll go into it, but a couple key points. In a 2022 op-ed, Charlie wrote, quote, "We must use state power to regulate big tech corporations." He called for breaking up platforms. That's end quote. Sorry. He called for breaking up platforms, accused them of censoring conservatives, and made Silicon Valley the villain of nearly every speech. Now, I can affirm that part because I just got done telling you I've been kicked off of 6 platforms for various reasons. I mean, to keep it short and sweet, one of them said that I was running drugs and guns on their platform. A couple of them have said that I've been spreading misinformation when everything I do is fact checked and linked. I mean, I'm literally, when I'm done filming this, there's going to be 20 or maybe even 30 links that are going to be in this YouTube video for you guys to read for yourself, right? I do not believe in misinformation. I am not a liar. The commandment in the Bible where it says we must not bear false witness, dude, I take that to the grave, all right? I've caused a lot of fights, a lot of people because they were dishonest. I'm not a dishonest person. I can't tell a lie, man. I really can't. It's got me in trouble with my own wife because sometimes I can't just keep this lip shut, and I probably should. And Lord's working on that within me. But in the meantime, when they say I spread misinformation, I don't believe that's the case. I think it's malinformation, but they don't have a terminology for that on most platforms. Anyway, I digress. He made Silicon Valley the enemy of his speech, right? Or enemy in most of his speeches. Look at this handsome young man. He was young back in this photo. This was 6 years ago, man. He was 25, 24, depending on when the photo was taken. Young. Vivacious. I mean, he's full of life. It's actually sad to think that 5 years after this photo was taken, he would be shot in the face, basically. If you believe that story, right? I don't. I don't know what I believe. He got hit with a projectile in the neck. I know that for a fact. Was it shrapnel? I don't know. Was it a bullet? I don't know. Was it an explosive? I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to focus on what I do know so we don't get misguided. But I do know that he was a young man who, by pretty conservative measurements, I mean, besides his giant forehead, he was a pretty handsome guy. If he toned down the forehead, like if my cursor right here, if that was the end of his forehead and if he had a little bit of a better hairline, I think most people would agree that he's just a halfway decently looking man. He's clean cut, right? His features are fine. He's not, you get my point. I shouldn't be glazing a dude. It's weird. But handsome young man shouldn't have deserved the situation that he had at hand, and yet he did. Now, this article goes on to basically show that Charlie's a little bit of a hypocrite. And the reason why is because a lot of big-time people were at the event, right? A lot of big-time people were at the event. And we've come to see that further, right? Since Trump has gotten elected in 2024, who was at his inauguration? Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk. I mean, all three of those guys, Amazon, Twitter, Facebook, these are the richest data-driven companies worldwide, probably. With the exception of TikTok, probably. Which, that's another thing. Trump's personal friend, Larry Ellison, just bought TikTok. So you get my point. Charlie Kirk, bless his heart, rest in peace. He told us this message of, the tech billionaires, the tech CEOs, Silicon Valley, they hate conservatives. They're not our friends. They're censoring us. They're blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, they were some of the biggest donors to Trump's 2020 campaign and Trump's 2024 campaign. That's interesting. And I'm building this all for a later analysis, so please stay with me. Please take a note. Said one thing, did another. Said one thing, did another. Okay? Said one thing, did another. Now, the problem here, and I've already built this out a little bit in abstract, but I want to go a little bit better with it. While Kirk was publicly attacking tech billionaires from the stage, those same billionaires, their foundations, and their financial instruments were quietly funding the whole machine that he was operating and the machine that Trump was trying to use to get elected. Right? Let me see if I can find some of his beliefs that are going to be I wanted to just find like his overarching political views, but they're going to try to soundbite him here on this left side, and I just don't feel that that's going to be beneficial for our chat here. But if you want a deep diver, for those who don't know much about Charlie, if you want to dive deeper into the situation, feel free to go to his Wikipedia. Just cutting to the chase, there's a lot written about the guy, so you don't have to really take my word for it, right? But when the guy railing against the system is funded by the system, is he the outsider or is he the product of the system, right? Again, going back to my point, he may have been a Manchurian candidate, guys. He may have. because he had these big ideas, and they gave him the microphone, just like I have. They gave him the microphone, and they let him talk, and they let him think. You running the show, big boy. You're running the show. It's all yours. Here's the money. Here's the money. Here's the money. Keep listening. Keep saying. Keep talking. Keep speaking. Keep. Here's the money. Don't listen. Don't look. Here's the money. They just kept doing that, dude. Again, when the guy railing against the system is the one that's actually funded by it, is he against it? Is he the outsider, or is he the product? We might kill a 6-pack of tall boys tonight. What do we do if that happens? What do we do? What do we do? There's no way I can still talk without slurring my words at that point. We'll try. Now, no more clickbait. I'm going to get into the shit that you guys all came here for. I know we're 26 minutes in, but I had a good 11-minute segue that was worth it, I think. Hey, we're going to get into the finances. This is chapter 2. Oh, it pulled up the screen on my other screen here. Hold on. There we go. Should be able to, there we go, pull it up like that. Look at this. This is ProPublica.org. Okay. These guys are the best. This tells you everything about Turning Point USA from a dollar amount standpoint. And yes, I'll put the link in the description. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Chapter 2. TPUSA raised $389 to $400 million under Charlie Kirk's tenure from 2012 to 2025. $85 million in revenue was in 2024 alone, which you can see on the screen. You see it right here, smack dab in the middle of the screen. Up from $40 million in just 2020. And again, you can see that on the screen. I have it highlighted for your very easy viewing pleasure. 99.2% of 2024 revenue came from charitable contributions and grants, not merchandise, not tickets from events on a man that went nationwide every day to speak with people, not memberships on charters where he had 10,000 plus chapters nationwide. Okay. The Turning Point endowment is $64.3 million in 2024, up from just $7.2 million in 2020. And it gets a little bit deeper. You can go so deep into the weeds here, but we have a lot of links. So, of course, I'm just going to focus on the bullet points to keep this under, I don't know, 4 hours, because I could probably do that if we really need to do that. I'm going to make this, I'm going to adjust this ever so slightly. Just going to give me a little bit more window room here. Like if I zoom in, you know, if I talk. Yeah, I think that'll work. I like to bounce around. I'm sorry. I don't mean to, but I ain't sitting still. Who can? I'm at this tiny desk. And I don't got a concert. Banger. That's elite ball knowledge for those who are aware. Now, we have another article for you guys. Because again, I don't want to be here all day for each article. This is a good one. What were Turning Point USA's main revenue sources from each year from 2020 to 2024? Beautiful. This is nice and easy. Now, disclaimer, this website says that they can make mistakes, but they are called factually.com. They are doing their best to at least just be transparent and let it know. Or let it be known. Now, here you go. Their reported total revenue rose from $40 million in 2020 to $85 million in 2024. So they more than doubled in just 4 years, with a dominant revenue category across those years reported as contributions, gifts, and grants. Reporting and watchdog accounts stress heavy reliance on a small number of very large, sometimes anonymous or even dark money donors and affiliated fundraising vehicles rather than earned income streams. Now, why is that important? Why is that important? Excuse me, man. I can't do nothing right, and I'm supposed to be on camera right now. This is horrible. See, this is why I'm at home. You couldn't put me on the news. I gotta shave my nose after this. The second I get off camera, for sure. Reason why I was going to YouTube here. I'm so sorry, guys. I can't stay on tap or on task to save my life. What is going on? Stop playing things without my consent. I typed something and it pulled up my last video by mistake. But I wanted to show up some of Charlie's biggest videos. Let's look at some of his most popular videos. 11 million views, 8 million views, 8.7 million views, or excuse me, yeah, 8.7 million views, 8 million views, 7.3, 6.1, 5.2. Bro, each one of those is paying a couple $1,000 a video. Depending, not literally a video. But with the rate that he's churning them out, it would average out to about $2,000 a video, $1,000 a video. We'll call it. Even if he wasn't churning them out, that aggressively, by raw view count alone, if everybody's watching this whole video, which most of his subscribers were, if everybody's doing that, I mean, my guy, he's getting paid $500 a vid, $500 a video, right? He has 2.2 thousand videos on YouTube alone. It's about $1 million right there. Right? About $1 million right there. That's one income stream. TikTok pays really well. You see where I'm going with this, guys. It's financially improbable that 99.2% of his money comes from contributions and donors, and the majority of that 99.2 was coming from a small list of people. Okay. Going back to factually, a grassroots youth organization was growing 112% in revenue, almost entirely on donations. Ask yourself, please, who writes the checks that are that big? And what do they expect in return? Kirk's endowment fund went from 7 million to 64 in 4 years. I don't know if that was on this one, was it? I think I might even just be able to go Control F. Endowment. Oh, that's literally right in front of me. I'm such a silly goose. I'm sorry, guys. I be silly goosing. It doesn't bring up this one on this article, but I have another one here too. Here's his donor network after death. Oh! Okay. That was a Fortune article. This link worked early. Dude. I always open all my links before my stream. I always do. Or my recording. I'm not streaming tonight. Scout's honor. But I always open my links before I go live or before I stream because I like to do my research and my homework and make sure everything's clean and buttered up. I don't know when I pulled this video or this article. I think it was this week. So we'll say the last 2 days. Fuck. I should have written more and more notes. I want to show you my screen here. You know, I actually will. I'll show you my screen here. I wrote down 0 notes on this link specifically. The thing that I wrote underneath it is literally just my outro statement that I already said to you guys. How freaking crazy is that? I wrote down no notes. That's my fault. The one article on that chapter that I didn't write notes on, my fault. But his endowment fund went from 7 million to 64 million in 4 years. That is not grassroots. That is an investment. And with that, we're going to go on to chapter 3. Chapter 3. This one's called the Dark Money Pipeline. Now, I have 3 links by this company. I'm going to pull them all up in succession. And then I'm going to pull up another company link after that and go over these together. Because this is pretty cool. This one's really cool, actually. So, what is Donors Trust, right? What is Donors Trust? Donors Trust is a donor-advised fund nicknamed the dark money ATM of the right. Donors pool money into it. Donors Trust distributes it. The original donor's name disappears. Now, this is completely illegal and both sides are able to do this. This is just the example of it happening on the right with names to boot. It is completely legal. It is by design anonymous. You cannot trace who originally wrote the check. Interesting. I think we can agree. Let's go over this. Last year, Donors Trust, the preferred donor advised fund of the Cook political network, distributed $195.3 million in grants to the more than 300 right-wing influence groups, litigation centers, media outlets, that would be TPUSA, climate deniers, pro-gun groups, and other tax-exempt organizations that underpin America's far-right infrastructure, blah, 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 focusing on the important part of that. Trump raised anywhere between $500 million to $1 billion, depending on who you ask and what conspiracies you listen to. So that is anywhere from 20% to 40% of the money raised from Trump's campaign alone could not be tracked down. Objectively, that's not okay. I say that as a conservative man with more firearms than bedrooms. That is not okay. If we cannot track the money down to the frickin' penny, I was really holding on. I almost said it. Down to the frickin' penny. If we cannot track every single penny that our politicians are being bribed with, because that's what it is. You don't get donations, right? If somebody hands you $1 million and you're running for politics, you think that's coming for free? Go study RFK and JFK and why they died. They took money from people. And then they challenged Israel. They did those two things in that order. And that's why they're dead. Cheers. Brought to you by absolutely nothing at all, but I enjoy it. You guys ever watch Twilight? Ladies in the chat, if I couldn't stop itching my nose, literally. Ladies in the chat. Charlie Swan from Twilight, right? This is his favorite beer. For the fellas out there that don't give a shit or have no idea what I'm talking about, Charlie Swan is the dad and police officer. He's Bella's dad in the Twilight books. Anyways, he's kind of a cool motherfucker. His name is Billy Burke, I think. He's a good actor. Like, actually, they got a pretty good actor to play the dad in that movie franchise. It's wild. But anyways, he actually is from Seattle. He fucking loves Rainier beer, unironically. Just like me. Cheers. I love Rainier beer. I don't like beer at all. I'll tolerate Coors or Miller if I'm at a baseball game. But if I'm choosing my beer, I want a fucking Rainier lager. Oh my God, it's good. I can't stay on task. My teachers hated me. But that's why I have a podcast, because I can do whatever the fuck I want. And if you guys don't like it, you don't listen. That's the cool part. Nobody holds a gun to your head, right? We're almost at 100 subscribers, by the way. If you guys see this, please share this with your friends. I'm trying to get to 100 subs. I've gotten a lot of growth in a small amount of time. I'm really thankful. I'm honestly hoping just literally one large account sees me and just says, hey, fucking follow this young kid. He's doing something. That's all it takes. And I might have a few hundred followers, and that would be really, that'd be really cool. So anyways, half of Donald Trump's money almost came from black budget programs that we can't track. Look at this. 103 million went specifically to right-wing policy and influence groups. So this isn't necessarily Trump's money, like directly. These are different types of groups. What this is saying is these are organizations that engage in the actual legislation on the ground level. So it's the same as still investing in Trump, but not in pushing the money to him directly per se. A lot of times this money goes towards PACs, which are called political action committees. This money goes to PACs, which basically means it goes to your political allies. You guys support the same ideas, so you guys get a little bit of a kickback. We're going to go to money, or we're going to go to a convention, put a little bit of money into it, and we're all going to have the same end goal and end result from that, right? That's kind of how that worked. That was 2024. Oh, shit. I have one for 2023. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Right? Now, this one's fun. I'm going to try to find the actual post in it, but this is where I took some notes. In 2023, Donors Trust gave TPUSA $1.2 million directly, including $200,000 specifically earmarked for Georgia and Wisconsin battleground activity. As you guys remember, 2024, Georgia and Wisconsin were, of course, battleground states. For people who don't vote, short and sweet, battleground and swing state is just terminology for the states that actually determine the election. These are the states that both sides of the news cycle and media cycle, they bully them to oblivion, but in all actuality, these are the patriot states, right? And hear me out. The states that vote differently every 4 years, every 8 years, every 6 years, whatever the cycle is, the side that votes every 4 years a little bit differently with nuance and new opinion and fresh ideas, that's the American. My state, Washington, where they voted blue no matter who for 40 fucking years, you guys are objectively the bad guy. You have never changed your mind on anything. You've never admitted that you are wrong on anything. You have finger pointed and said that the other guy is the bad guy on everything. And before all of you conservatives get in my chat and say, oh my gosh, he's spitting, he's speaking the truth. Guys, Texas, it's pretty much the same thing. I like both states. I've been to Texas. I've smoked weed illegally in Texas. I've lived in Washington. I've shot guns illegally in Washington. I'm an American in any state I live in or any state I go to. Which basically means I don't believe in victimless crimes. If I want to smoke pot or shoot guns, I'm going to do both of those things regardless of where I'm at. Not at the same time, but I'm going to do both those things. And you're not going to stop me because I'm not harming nobody. Before you guys freak out, I don't own anything that's like radical. I have friends that are veterans, so naturally I've shot some fun guns and shit that I can't own, but they can, So, anyway, to all my vet friends who will inevitably watch this, fuck yeah, you guys already know what I'm talking about. But, yeah, dude, I don't believe in victimless crimes. That was my point. I didn't mean to make it a ramble. But if I want to smoke pot on my porch, as long as it's not blowing downwind, I don't think there's a crime, right? I don't want to have you guys smelling my pot. I don't think that's right. But other than that, there's nobody's getting harmed. And same thing if I'm shooting guns. If I'm out in the woods having a good time, fuck, dude, nobody's getting hurt. Nobody's getting hurt. I believe in being very responsible when it comes to firearms, alcohol, cannabis, all of that. But I also don't believe in victimless crimes. Now back to my point, and goodness gracious, I might have to go pause and shave my nose right now. It's that bad. This is going to be hell trying to clip this later. trying to find some good clips to take, it's going to be impossible. But, man, you know what? I am going to be right back. It's going to be like that. It's going to be like that. I'm going to be right back. We're going to put this on the share screen with the intro, Spore Busters. You guys will just listen to this, and I'll edit out some of it if I need to. But bear with me, dude. This is crazy. What? I never used to read the back of cleaning products. Then I became a parent, something clicked. I started actually looking at what I was spraying on my countertops in my kitchen, surfaces that my kids touch every day. And I realized I had no idea what half of it was. Not because I'm not smart, just because nobody's talking about it. So I went down a rabbit hole. Ingredients, safety lists, requirements as to what they actually have to put onto their label. It's genuinely wild how little transparency is actually required in an industry that you and your children interact with every single day. We want to be transparent about what's included so that way you are informed and you can make your own decision. I'm not saying you have to replace all of your household cleaning products. I'm just saying maybe it's best that you actually look into what you're using. So we're called Spore Busters. Give us a follow if you want to find out more or see us along our journey. Samples are here. Let's unbox them. Okay, this is what we got. Whew. Okay, we're back. Goodness. Now, of course, I might have some residual there because I just shaved my nose, but I can breathe now. And I feel a little bit better. So we should be good. I should have done that an hour ago. Good God. I need to shave my neck, my beard. I need to cut my nails. Dude. I'm a little behind on some things, can you tell? And that happens sometimes. Again, parents in the chat, whoever's got a toddler, this next drink is for you. I mean, I love you guys. It's hard raising kids. We just have the one. She's a sweetheart, but we are so gung-ho on her. We love her to bits. We put all of our eggs in her basket. We just love Millie Jo to bits. It's all about her, right? So cheers. Cheers to everybody who's got young kids. And I wanted to give it a special shout out to my friends. Excuse me. Give a little shout out to my friends Angel and Jen. I won't share their story so much because it's private, but they're having a baby right now. They just had a baby. And they're very happy. And I think everything's very healthy and things look good. They go to our church and God bless them. I talked about this briefly too, but one of our good friends or both of our good friends, it's a couple, but our good friends, they've been trying to have a baby for over a year and it hasn't worked. It just hasn't worked. So they went to the doctor. He got a sperm check. She got her eggs checked, blah, 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 blah. Cutting to the chase. Doctor says, you're never going to conceive. It's just not going to happen. Blah, blah, blah. She starts hanging out with us, going to church. She starts going to church. She conceives. She's got a baby on the way. So just wanted to give those two shout outs. I think I've talked about her before because that story is so beautiful. Who wouldn't talk about that? But I haven't talked about my friend Jen and my friend Angel. He's a veteran and they moved up from California. But good people. Good people. Angel and I were talking all day today because he and the wife, or she was, she's in the hospital having a baby and he's just stressed. So him and I had a good chat, but I wanted to give a shout out to them. Wanted to give a shout out back on task to battleground states. That's what I was talking about before I went MIA. The battleground states, they are the true Americans. Okay. We need to not forget that because it's true. It's very important. Texas and Washington, like I said earlier, right? I'm not going to beat that analogy home, but to Texas and Washington. So don't be like those states. In 2022, which I'll show, TPUSA received $1.4 million from these guys. Look, $150 million untraceable cash to right-wing groups. $134 million in 2022 to right-wing groups. All untraceable, dude, which is funny because we can trace the dollars, but not not the memos, not the signatures, not who signed the check. That's not okay. That is not okay. Oh, I don't want a newsletter. Get me out of here. Oh, are you gonna make me do this? I don't want this. Okay, I don't want that. Can I get this without that? Let's just reopen the link. Yes. Hell yes. Okay. The friendly new face of dark money. Okay, they don't want me to touch this. That's fine. If you guys want to sign up for their newsletter, you can, and then you can read it, but I don't want to do that shit, so I'm not going to read this article. But it's about how Fidelity, Schwab, and Vanguard funnel dark money. And I read the article earlier from my computer at work where I was able to incognito mode and control P really fast and get everything to print, which sometimes works. They've kind of patched that now. It doesn't work very well. But anyways, I was able to read it earlier. The short and sweet of it is the same companies that you have your 401k with and your retirement and all of this shit that you expect to grow your money and your assets, it funds dark money. And I don't mean like, ooh, no, like illicit activities, things that we shouldn't be a fan of, political activity, deep state activity, etc., etc., etc. So now you know. You can enjoy that. And that's that. Cheers. So, again, subscribe to their newsletter if you want to, but I personally don't. That's what I get for shaving my nose. That's what I get, right? Now, the donors behind... Oh, I didn't mean to keep this up there. But the donors behind Donors Trust are anonymous by design. Fidelity, Schwab, and Vanguard, the three biggest financial institutions in Silicon Valley and on Wall Street, all route money through donor-advised funds that end up at organizations like TPUSA. The tech billionaire who hates, the tech billionaire who hates big tech, he can write a check to Fidelity Charitable. Fidelity routes it to Donors Trust. Donors Trust cuts a check to TPUSA. Charlie Kirk never knows who funded him. You never find out, and that's the whole point. He knew some of the people who funded him, but not all of them, not the majority of them, not even half of them. Now, let's get into the Bradley Impact Fund. There we go. Oh, I am so congested after that sneeze. Okay. More fun. This one I knew was a bad link, but I wanted to keep it for an example. This is what the link was called. The Guardian, Bradley Fund, and TPUSA Financial Analysis. Now, this foundation manages $1.2 billion in assets. That is conservative infrastructure money, which basically means conservative play money. It's monopoly money for the elites that happen to vote on the right. Keep it short and sweet. I wanted to keep that link because they used to have this. I knew this was a bad link a long time ago, but I wanted to include it just to show that at one point we had transparency on this topic, and now that the guy is dead, now that Charlie is dead, we don't actually get any of this transparency at all that we once had. So that's personally a big issue for me. So I'm going to continue to highlight it, just like I did with the Epstein list. I'm still making clips on the Epstein list as we speak. I think I'm at like part 40. I think I made 40 clips on that episode already, and I still have 2.5 hours left to film. So yeah, dude, I'm very, very driven on this. Like I've told you guys before, and I will always reiterate when and where it is appropriate to do so. I know people. Oh, God, I'm so congested. It is May, and I live in the Pacific Northwest, right? We are flared up. Give me the Benadryl. Like I said before, and I will say again, I think this is my third time stating it publicly, and I will continue to state so publicly. I know people who have been trafficked by the United States government. That's the most direct I'll say it. I'm not going to go further than that. I'm not going to name names on that because sadly everybody involved has signed NDAs. Nobody can go public. It's a fucking mess. But I apologize. I know that sounded like shit. I needed to do it though. Objectively speaking, the trafficking and the deep state and all that shit is closer to home than you think it is. Okay? We all need to be on our guard. If you have a platform, you need to be speaking on things. And if you don't have a platform, you need to get one. Honest to God. You guys think I had a podcast because I actually think it's fun to talk about conspiracies all day? No, dude. It makes my heart pump. Makes my blood bump. Right? It's hard to do this. I don't like talking about this all the time. Especially now as a dad. Right? It's hard. But it's necessary. It's hard, but it's necessary. All right, we're going to go into more links here. I believe it's important. Coming up on an hour, boys. Ugh. I might have to take another break just to use the restroom because this is vitamin R number 3. There you go. Okay. So, going back into the share screen here. I really like new share screen. Comment in the chat. It's so hard to mirror yourself and point at yourself, right? So let me know what you think about the share screen. Because, give you a little rundown. I had this one too. I have this one too, and it's pretty simple. You just go like that, and I'm in the corner. I think there's a time and place for both. Right? I think there's a time and place for both. I just kind of like this one. I kind of like this one. I think this is better. I feel like I'm an anchor. I got my overlay or my watermark down here. I got my. Let me know. I don't know if it looks like shit. Please tell me. I mean, guys, I want to have a good experience for my viewers. I'm not gonna change, right? I'm not going to change who I am, but if I can do things better, please tell me. Please tell me. I'm not perfect. I'm a dumbass. I just have a high IQ. I'm not good at the tech stuff. I'm just good at sniffing through bullshit. Now, which major individual donors and PACs have funded Turning Point USA in recent IRS and FEC filings? Ooh, boy. That's going to be a good one. That's going to be a good one. But I got to go to the restroom. Sorry. I am. I'm sorry. I got to go to the restroom, so I'm going to be right back. I might even edit this out for you if I care about you. Let me write this down. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. I don't know why I'm saying sorry as if you're going to see any of that break, but I'm back. Oh, wow. I was going to wear those, and now I remember precisely why I took those off. I need to get new glasses anyway, but I feel like Harry Potter in this moment. So let's go back to what we were talking about in this screen share that's really important. Which major individual donors and PACs were funders? Okay. Look at that. They say, consider refreshing it to get the most current information. Dude, I just pulled this up on the fucking camera. Come on. We don't run ads? Well, you're kind of advertising right now. Stop. You're advertising that you're better than everybody. Stop. Executive summary. This is the high-level overview. A lot of people would also call this the abstract if you're looking at a scientific journal. Okay. Turning Point USA, TPUSA, has drawn large sums from a mix of individual billionaires, family foundations, and dark money donor-advised funds and foundations. Forbes and The Guardian report TPUSA raised roughly $389 million under Charlie Kirk and cite multi-million-dollar gifts such as $13.1 million check from the Wayne Dettleston Foundation and large past grants from the Bradley Impact Fund and Donors Trust. Okay. I was just trying to see. Yeah, that was the Bradley fund I was trying to pull up earlier that it wouldn't pull up. Federal filings for Turning Point PAC show itemized PAC donors available via open secret, while TPUSA's 501c tax returns do not list individual donors directly. So reporting relies on tax return workups, FEC disclosures, and investigative compilations. Of course, they have this all linked. They have half a dozen links just in a paragraph. So don't just spare me all of that. Spare me all of that. We're going to have fun. TPUSA's nonprofit IRS filings generally do not name individual donors. Journalists reconstruct major funders by tracing grants, foundation form 990s, and donor-advised fund flows. Forbes explains that because TPUSA's tax returns don't list donors, researchers search ProPublica's nonprofit Explorer and related filings to identify significant grants, such as what I already described, that $13.1 million gift from Wayne Duddleston. That's always fun. A little bit of Wayne's Duddleston, the Duddles. We love the Duddles. Who's this guy? I don't know who this guy is at all, even after doing a little bit of research for you guys. So who is this? You see this right here. Well, you guys read it. Let me take a drink. What? I was thirsty. You guys read that. I don't have to read it. Right? Why aren't they closing their doors? This guy gave a $13 million gift to a man that's now dead. Nobody's asking questions. I had a script that I was going to write about this, but dude, I mean, live react here. Why are we not asking questions? Again, I did a little bit of deep dive on this guy. I've got links. I have no idea who he is. None. This guy's information only went public the week Charlie died. Forbes magazine, the financial magazine, revealed the IRS filings for TPUSA, and they found this donor that had never been previously reported anywhere. This guy, the guy that's shutting his doors down for his foundation. Wayne Duddleston, a private Houston, Texas foundation, gave him $13.1 million. That's 13,100,000, right? That's 1,000 times more than I've made in the past couple months. 1,000 times. So, I think I've been drinking at this point. It might be 100, might be 1,000. Fuck off. I don't want to do math right now. But anyways, Wayne Duddleston. And we're going to go back to this. We're going to go back to this website. Actually, no, we're not. This is literally it. They shut down everything. The whole website. But who is he? Those who have followed my Jeffrey Epstein know that I dive in everything. Is this him? He's dead. Okay. Convenient. So the founder's dead. The foundation's been in business another 15 years after his death. And now they're suddenly shutting up shop. Okay. Roger that. Now, this was the single largest direct donor on the IRS public tax record for TPUSA. I want you to just clock that. Nobody reported that until Forbes did their deep dive in September 2025. Feel free to find the timestamp of the article. I'm not going to do it right now because I gotta I gotta stay on topic here. We're already over an hour in, right? They did their deep dive September 25. And now they're shutting up doors. And rest in peace to Wayne Duddleston. I mean, he died before Charlie was even 18. So don't do that. Let's not do that. Just deep dive with me. Let's have conversations. Conversations are not illegal, at least not yet. Right? At least not yet. I'm gonna pull up some factually.com because I kind of like this website. I'm gonna see if I can get maybe a little bit of love by these guys. I don't know. I'll try to do something because they're a cute little company. And I'll be honest. You know what? I'll be really honest. Look at this. They're a small little... Oh, I need to do my job here. Come on, streamer. Come on, E. Do you stream or not? Look at this. I'm a dumbass. Look, they're trying to raise $60K for 2026. That's really not even that much money. They're 21% of the way there. That's not that much. Maybe I'll try to help them get there. I don't know. I'm not going to donate money. But maybe I get the word out there and other people do. You know what I mean? And maybe I do donate money. I was just making a joke because I don't currently make any money doing what I do on YouTube, right? So how would I? But anyway, I've appreciated their work so far. And I'm going to be very candid about that. I'm going to be very transparent. I'm going to be very honest. Going to be very accountable. Whatever word you want to use. I like their stuff. I've had a couple of links just tonight. They've been clean. They pull up each time. They're easy to annotate because they got wide margins. Great. I love it. The one thing I don't like is this little booger right here that says this article may be outdated. And I think that's just to prevent liability. But factually, if you guys are ever seeing this, cut that shit out. Nobody's going to sue you for the whole outdated article shit. I be reading stuff from the 80s. It's fun. Nobody cares. Let it be. Now, this was that same article from earlier. I think I might have hyperlinked the same one. Can I find more about Wayne Duddleston? Wayne Duddleston. No, I don't think I can. It looks like they just found more information from actual Form 990s, which I'm not going to get into tonight for two reasons. One, I don't understand tax Form 990s. And two, neither do you. Let's just be humble, okay? Let's be humble. We don't understand those forms very well, so I'm just going to skip that route entirely. But to summarize again, this foundation is closing their doors at the end of this year. Now, their listed focus areas that I could find: education, philanthropy, human resources, or human services, excuse me. Sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once. Human resources. I said it again. I'm a dumbass. Human services. And they are currently in Texas, Pennsylvania, and Florida. Now, again, just a little outro message for you. Write this down for your notes, please. A private Texas foundation nobody had ever heard of, including myself. Somebody that's a big fan of Charlie Kirk. Okay, this one organization donated 3% of the money Charlie ever fundraised for this company that he made from the ground up over 14 years. This guy gave him 3% of the money he made over 14 years in one gift. Okay. And it took Forbes forensically digging through material and IRS filings to even find it. It was not published until the same week that Charlie Kirk was killed. I feel like that timing is a coincidence. However, the opacity is not. Opacity, for those who are dumb, that just means how translucent something is. How much can you see through an object, right? There's no transparency with our current administration. And I comment that as a conservative again. I hate what this country has become. I really do. Back to the topic. If the single largest donor to TPUSA was completely unknown until a journalist dug through the tax filings, how many others are there that nobody's found yet? I love getting drunk with you guys. Who's getting drunk with me? I'll clean up the stream as I get bigger, inevitably. But in the meantime, we're having fun, right? We're having fun. If Brandon Herrera can shoot White Claws on stream all day, I'm pretty sure I can drink them, right? The liquid's still moving. Chapter 5. The named billionaires. It's going to be a long fucking podcast. Sorry, guys. We still have like 5 pages of notes. All right. We got opensecrets.com, TPUSA's donor profile. Excuse me. Excuse me again. Whoa, that one changed my voice. I didn't like that. I hope that only caught that for a second. Now, this is a cool company. If you guys haven't seen this company before, I recommend going to them right away. Same thing. They're trying to get some money. They're trying to get some money, baby. They want some money. Sorry. I have autism. Can you tell? Fuck. I say it every episode because I just don't want you guys flaming me. And I really do. I'm not self-diagnosed like a lot of you guys are on TikTok. I actually have a diagnosis. Please spare me. This company's trying to raise some money. They want to raise $80,000 this year. I'm not trying to plug them, but dude, these guys do the same type of work I do. Like we're allies, right? This company's called Open Secrets Organization, or OpenSecrets.org. If you guys don't know what that already means, I'll explain it for you very easily. These guys bring to light some of the bullshit, some of the money that goes in politics. Because just like I believe, they believe that it's just absolutely paramount. We got to get the money out of politics. Or if the money's going to remain, we need to know where it's coming from. Can we agree? Right? Can we agree? Can we agree? So, I'll have to edit that out real quick. Hold on. There we go. I just wanted to get that out of there so you guys don't see all my notes. But anyway, OpenSecrets.org, organizations disclosing donations to Turning Point USA. This is a little bit outdated, but we're trying to do what we can. Now, this is the website. I want you guys to just look at the kind of crap that they go over, okay? They are very transparent. Very transparent. So while I'm scrolling through this, I'm going to read through some of these lines. We got Richard Uihlein. He's a packaging magnate. One of the biggest. We got multiple pages here, by the way. Yeah. He's one of the biggest Republican mega donors in the country. Does it not go to another page? Oh. Apologize. I guess it is just this one page. And that's actually for 1 year, so that makes sense. Multiple pages for multiple years would make sense. Do we have more? Yeah, it looks like they only disclose this every couple years. Yeah. Okay, so we only have this actually for 1 year. OpenSecrets.org. Guys, I was trying to give you some love. Do your job if you want 80K. Do your job if you want 80K. I'm doing this for free, huh? But for the 1 year, they found 20 records. Trying to focus on the topic. Richard Uihlein, packaging magnate. Bernard Marcus, co-founder of Home Depot. I went there today. I've gone there 3 times this week. I'm a homeowner. You got to do what you got to do. Guy's worth $8 billion. He's repeatedly named in the Watchdog reporting as a major backer of TPUSA. Richard Uihlein, going back up to him, he's donated $38 million to federal PACs since January of 2021. This is since the January 6th protest, riot, uprising, insurrection, whatever you want to call it. He's donated $40 fucking million, excuse my French, to PACs since that day. Keep your eyes out on that guy. Bernard Marcus, talked about him. Foster Friess and Lynn Friess, they are billionaires from Wyoming. After Foster's death, his widow Lynn publicly stepped up to continue support after Charlie Kirk's assassination as well. And who's else? Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. After Kirk's assassination, he publicly committed $1 million from his campaign account to expand TPUSA chapters in Texas. So he used political funds that were supposed to be used for his campaign to keep him in office to basically spread political propaganda throughout Texas, right? Those are funds that are meant to keep you in office. Why are they being used to create political action campaigns for high schoolers and we'll just say young adults? Why? That's $1 million you're spending on an investment that you're really not supposed to be spending on, to keep it broad. The state lieutenant governor used campaign. I don't even got to read my outro because I'm already freaking reading my outro. We're coming to the same conclusions, boys. Come on. Nobody's talking about this shit, and it pisses me off. Nobody talked about this. Nobody's talking about Dan Patrick. Who's talking about Dan Patrick? Comment below. None of your independent or mainstream journalists have mentioned Dan Patrick. Not one. Maybe Danica Patrick. Not Dan Patrick. Not even Candace Owens. Not even Baron Coleman. I got this from Factually again. That same company that wanted 60K. They might get their 60K this year. Factually. Good company. In any other context, this would be a news story. A guy used campaign funds borderline illegally to prop up somebody after they were assassinated. I disagree. I disagree. Let's get the warm lighting in here. Can I get the warms? No. That's really the warmest she goes? I don't know about that. Okay, maybe it is. Huh? Sorry. I think it's just because it's bright. Let's turn it down a little bit. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Have a good time. Okay. So, yeah, in any other situation, that would be a news story. The guy broke a law. Most likely. I think he should be investigated. If let's just zoom back out. If you guys donated money to me under the guise that I would use it for a specific purpose, and then I explicitly did not use that for that purpose, am I or am I not guilty of a crime? And even if I'm not guilty of a crime, have I not sinned against you? Right? If you guys give me money, you know what I'm going to use that for? Honest to God. If you donate to me, you know what I use that for? We're going to keep it a buck. This right here. Literally. My buddy, he sent me $10 to get gas so I could buy my MacBook Neo. I basically give it right back to him so I could buy lights from him because he makes content too. And where I'm going with that is simple. If I get money, I'm not putting it in anything except the business, because that's what the business is supposed to be done with, or the business money is supposed to be done with, right? I said that very wrong grammatically. That's what we're supposed to be. That's what's supposed to be done with the business money. There we go. Fuck. How many times does it take? I speak Spanish a little bit, so sometimes I get the adjectives way fucked up because all my Spanish speakers, you guys will laugh when I say that. But their language is beautiful. They put their adjectives on the inverse of their sentences. And so because I can speak Spanish pretty well, I do that. Yo hablo solamente un poco en español porque un blanco chico o un güero o gringo. Sí. um, yeah, I basically just said I only speak a little bit in Spanish because I'm a white guy or a gringo or a white boy. And then I laughed at myself. So I can speak a little bit more, but I don't need to right now, obviously. Anyways, beautiful language. I love Spanish, and I wish I could speak it better, but I can't even speak English very well, as you fucking found out. So next topic, section 6, or we'll call it chapter 6. This guy's an asshole. I'm not a fan of him. Oh, this is a beautiful one. Wow. Are we going to do this? Oh, this is beautiful. I got to show this. Look at that. Who's in Donald Trump's orbit? That's a cool little thing. I like how they're threatening me too. 2 free posts left, like I'm ever going to come back up to the San Francisco standard ever again. Piss off. Okay. Who are the techies in Trump's orbit? Great little animation, but don't be threatening me with 3 posts, dude. I don't care. Silicon Valley's tech giants were front and center at Donald Trump's inauguration. Now, they're giving me a free article about this. I said this an hour ago on my podcast. They're not saying anything special. But what this article does discuss is some quotes from Peter Thiel. So I'll give them some credit. Peter Thiel is a piece of shit. He's the co-founder of PayPal. He's the founder of Palantir, which is a AI-driven military/defense firm that is spying on you and me as I fucking record this. I'm not kidding you. There's 3 cameras pointing at me there, 1 camera pointing at me here, a microphone here, a microphone there, a microphone there. God knows what else. There's a reason I will not name anybody publicly that traffic my friends, or my friends even. That's why. Palantir, okay, PayPal. Palantir are the people that are going to be committing war crimes if they haven't already in the next couple of years. They're bad. They're bad. And they're bad. He's in the Epstein list too. Yep. He likely funded the never mind. I don't want to get into that because I don't have evidence for that right now, and I want to keep it evidential. But he's the founder of Palantir, co-founder of PayPal. He's the chairman of the Founders Fund. His own quote, "I no longer believe that freedom and democracy are compatible." What? No, thank you. I'm not compatible with you, Peter Thiel. Now, we're going to do that favorite thing that I like to do on this podcast. Ready? We're going to do that thing. We're going to do that thing. What's the early life on this guy? Because I don't freaking know. I don't. I actually don't. I haven't done the deep dive. I'm not making any assumptions here. Let's look. He was born in Frankfurt, Germany in 1967. Damn, he's older than I thought he was. He's almost 60? I didn't know that. What? This guy's almost... I guess that's a bad photo of him, but... excuse me. He doesn't look like he's 60 in most photos. He looks younger than Elon Musk. Like, he looks like he might be like 45. You know? Maybe 40. But... there you go. He was friends with this dipshit, right? He was friends with this dipshit. Oh, I love that. Anyways, let's go into the early. Let's go into the early life and education. He was born in Germany to Klaus and Suzanne Thiel. Okay. They immigrated to the U.S. Okay. Oh, fuck. Look at this. So he attended a German language school in Swakopmund for 2 years that required students to wear uniforms and employed corporal punishment, such as striking hands with a ruler. He said this experience instilled a distaste for uniformity and regimentation, later reflected in his support for individualism and libertarianism. The German community in Swakopmund was known at the time for its continued glorification of Nazism. Wow, I didn't know that. Holy shit. Teal was noted as a smart but lonely, withdrawn boy who others would not mingle because they knew that he would not stay long in the town. Wow. So he lived in South Africa for a little while. I actually did not know that at all. I was just trying to find out if he was a long nose like me. What? What, dude? I'm allowed. Every episode, we'll go over it real quick, right? Hello, my name. Hello. Shalom. Right. I speak a little Yiddish. I love hummus. Don't Mess with the Zohan is my favorite movie. I love Adam Sandler. Fuck Israel. But other than that, right, I fit all the stereotypes. Besides fuck Israel, I fit all the stereotypes. But no. Early life conspiracy, guys. If you don't know what it is, give this a Google. I'm going to take a pee break again because I've been drinking beer. Give that a Google. I'll be right back. Give it a Google. Okay. Wow, that's crazy. I actually just peed literally 30 minutes ago. But boys, magic trick. How tall do you want to make it tonight, right? We'll keep drinking if we keep talking. Hey. I might even shotgun on the outro. Fuck. No, I'm just kidding. It's literally a work night. Now, we got into Peter Thiel. I was joking about some things, but the early life conspiracy, if you guys didn't get to Googling while I was taking a little pee, look into people that you dislike in the entire world and then find out who the fuck they're related to. Almost always they're going to be ethnically related to me. And I hate to say that. I do. I really do. My people are involved in stupid shit. We've talked about it before on the podcast. But again, right. Every episode I'm getting more subscribers, and God bless. I appreciate all of you. I'm a tiny account, but sometimes I get 1,000 views on a video. Sometimes I get 10, and I don't know what's going to happen, right? So we assume I'm going to get some views, and boom. But the early life conspiracy is actually a really fun and easy way to figure out who's who. You can clock who's a piece of shit. And we're going to get more into that here in a little bit. But I'm going to tease you in the meantime. We are going to talk about Chapter 6B here for a moment. Because we're in Chapter 6 right now. Chapter 6B, little teaser for you. The man publicly calling Silicon Valley the enemy was actually privately one of Elon Musk's most trusted political advisors. Yes, Charlie Kirk. I'm talking about him, by the way. Hold that thought. We will come back to it. The Larry Ellison connection. Now that's the part we're going to discuss. Larry Ellison. Pull out that early life conspiracy, that early life tab. Pull it out. By the way, Peter Thiel is gay. Pull out that early life tab, though, on Larry Ellison. Sorry, I just wanted to throw out a gay stray there a little bit. No shade to my gays. Two of my best friends are gay. I just thought it's interesting that the guy that wants to surveil us and watch us all day long is from the same demographic of people and generation of people that fucking hated that the government was watching them for what they wanted to do with their private lives. Pretty fucking ironic that the gay guy that's Generation X wants to spy on us all day. Hello? Didn't you lose half of your fucking friends in the 80s to AIDS because the government wanted to spy on you and fucking fill you with drugs and chemicals and diseases that were not naturally born? Fuck you. Peter Thiel's a piece of shit. I'm not going to back down from that. All right, Larry Ellison. Now, this guy's the founder of Oracle. I discussed him on my Turning the Pages episode. I think it was 21, where we're talking about the Epstein list, top 100. He's on that list. This guy's worth $200 billion plus. Larry, if you're watching this, I will shut the fuck up if you give me just 50 grand. Not even a lot. Dude, for you, 45 grand. Jew to Jew. Jewish man to Jewish man, I'll give you a 10% discount. Give me 45 grand, I shut the fuck up. If not, we're going to keep hammering you, dude. This guy's worth $200 billion. He reportedly joined a November 2020 call. This is right before the election, guys, to discuss, or excuse me, right after the election. Sorry, I got my timeline just a little bit off. He reportedly joined a November 2020 call to discuss strategies for contesting the election results. So this is one of the guys that created that whole January 6th, the election was stolen, blah, 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 blah. This guy is one of the pieces of shit. He's also one of the guys that he owns TikTok. He's the fucking guy that bought TikTok so we could keep the app in the United States. That's all he did. He's also in the Epstein files. He's in a lot of shit. Early life tab. I'm going to say it whenever it's convenient. It's a dog whistle, but you need to be whistled at, dogs. Ooh. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. Because now I just played into a trope. I, as a Jewish man, just called you guys all dogs. I'm so sorry. I did not mean that like that. But you know what I meant. I was just playing into the dog whistle pun. You know what I mean? That was so bad. I'm so sorry. But dog whistling, that just basically means, you say something that only certain people will hear and they'll know what it means, right? Early life tab. Check into this guy. He donated $20 million. $20 million to a super PAC called the Opportunity Matters Fund in that cycle. We're going to pull up some money on this guy. I've already pulled up his early life tab on another podcast, so I'm not going to pull up the same links on multiple episodes, right? If you guys want to watch that, go back to my Epstein list video. We talk about him a little bit. I forget where he's at, but he's not in the top 20. He's further down the list. I think he's like in the 40s or 50s somewhere. But he's in there. Give him a shout. Actually, he might be in the 60s. I talk about 100 people in a podcast. It's actually crazy. It's fucking crazy. If you guys haven't watched that, which it's about 7 billion of you, if you haven't watched that, please go check it out. It's a good episode. It really is. It really is. Now, the money behind January 6th was actually flowing into every election since then. And this article just says 2022 elections, and that's cute. That's fun. But it was in every election since, and not just in 2022. Sorry, I had to pull my chair out there a little bit. Now, big donors who supported the insurrection and the election denial that inspired it are spending to influence this year's races, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to put that link down there for you guys to read further so we can speed this up a tiny bit. We're coming up on 2 hours. I want you guys to read into that a little bit. There's a lot of names in this list. I'm going to have that link for you guys to go into further. It talks about the things I just discussed there. Larry Ellison's $20 million to a super PAC. Him joining that call. He's a piece of shit, dude. I don't need to say that many times for you guys to get the message. If I am ethnically related to these people and I'm telling you, fuck them, that should be enough for you, right? If black people started coming out and saying, hey, yo, this one black guy is a piece of shit, we would all agree, right? 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 And that wasn't to single out my homies, but same thing. If a Hispanic guy comes out and says this guy's a piece of shit, do we listen to him? All right. We listen to him. All right. Chapter 6B. You guys wanted this. A lot of you guys have now waited over 90 minutes for this one topic alone. And this is a CNN link. Ooh, you guys are going to love it. You guys are going to love it. CNN. Fuck you. I'm not paying you money. Fuck you. I hate CNN. I will never pay you money. Okay. Charlie Kirk desperately wanted Elon Musk and Donald Trump back together. He succeeded. This is an article that came out 12 days after Charlie took one. Okay. Now I'm just going to read straight from this. This is a pretty good article. When Elon Musk and President Donald Trump's feud reached a fever pitch, Charlie desperately wanted the two to put their fight to bed and make up. I know both these guys. I am hopeful, optimistic, and will do everything I possibly can to try to bring this back together, he told Megyn Kelly in June, adding that he expected them to make up. In the end, he succeeded, bringing Trump and Musk together publicly for the first time since their blow-up. At Charlie's memorial service on Sunday, Musk was at one point seated right next to Trump. They shook hands and they talked. Charlie knew both men and spent time with them, as he would recount on his podcast. And even though he always made it clear that he would stand by Trump during the height of the feud with Musk, he always expressed admiration for the world's richest man, effusively thanking him for buying what was then called Twitter, calling it the most important franchise since the Louisiana Purchase. Banger quote, by the way. That's a banger quote. We're going to just zoom out real quick. Dude. For Charlie. Real shit. Louisiana Purchase. Boys, I live in Washington. We've been over that. The Louisiana Purchase was in every one of our middle schools' curriculum. If you didn't grow up hearing about Lewis and Clark, you were a fucking land shark. All right? Period. Next story. I'm not trying to flex so much, but Lewis and Clark, bro. Lewis and Clark, bro. Lewis and Clark, bro. Listen. The Louisiana Purchase was actually a really important time in U.S. history. It's where we became the rest of our country. It really was. I agree with Charlie Kirk's notion that Elon purchasing Twitter is the only reason I have a podcast, right? I said at the height of this episode, I've been kicked off of Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, Reddit, Snapchat before, TikTok. I've been kicked off of all of these apps. The only apps I can communicate with anybody on are YouTube, Twitter. And the funniest part is, if you just sit here and let me discuss, I have nothing that is an abrasive or aggressive or ridiculous take. I think you should stop spending money to people that want to rape your kids, of which is the majority of the government. I think you should homeschool them kids, keep them safe, keep them well fed, keep them robust, and keep them strong. And I think you should support independent media instead of, mainstream. And I might smoke a little weed once in a while. I mean, I'm actually pretty left-leaning. But the things that I'm right-leaning about, I'm very rigid. And it's like, they can't have that. It's very interesting. But Elon buying Twitter saved people like me for my voice. I'm not saying like he saved my life. That would be so facetious. But he saved my ability to have a voice, maybe have an independent career. I might be able to get monetized someday because of this, right? I mean, come on. Come on. That's so cool. That's so cool. And then the Twitter files came out. All sorts of shit. I'll let you guys go into the Twitter files. It's really cool. But where I was going with that before I started glory holing there, that was stupid. In mid-2025, Elon Musk and Donald Trump had a fallout over Trump's one big beautiful bill. That was the one about the massive spending and the tax legislation. Now, I'm just going to be super short and transparent. This was really two grown-ass men acting like fucking toddlers. They're billionaires acting like toddlers. Speaking again as a conservative, they're acting like toddlers. I think I can say that more than anybody, right? I like Elon Musk. I might buy a Tesla. My best buddy drives a Tesla. Shit's fast as fuck. It's got like 450 horse. It's fun. I don't like Trump, but I like conservatism. They're both acting like toddlers. Musk was calling that bill a disgusting abomination on X publicly to 200 million followers. Trump fired back on his social media called Truth Social. It was so stupid. These guys went to their literal echo chambers that they created. Grown-ass men. Grown-ass men, and one of them's almost worth $1 trillion, by the way. They had to go run to their respective corners and bitch about which one had it worse. Anyway, Trump fired back. MAGA world fractured. Donors panicked. Elon Musk started starting his own political party. There was a timeline for this. I'll link in the description. I'm going to skip that link, but I'll link in the description for you guys. This was a genuine crisis. The two most important figures and powerful figures in the American right, the conservatives, were publicly at war. So Charlie steps in. He was the secret back channel, the JFK to Gorbachev, if you will, or Nikita Khrushchev, if you will. While the public feud was exploding, Charlie Kirk was privately texting Elon Musk. Directly, not on Twitter. I'm talking phone numbers, boys. Phone numbers. Charlie told Elon directly his anti-Trump rhetoric was damaging the overall MAGA agenda and would hurt the movement long term. Elon was, quote, receptive to Kirk and his feedback. A CNN source with direct knowledge said, Kirk was not a bystander, he was the fixer, okay? This was the guy on both sides that they trusted enough to use as a bridge. Shortly after Kirk's private outreach, Elon began positively posting about Trump again. They built that connection, right? Elon had vowed to start his own party, and then no signs of it ever materializing after Charlie's intervention. Crazy as fuck to think about. Think about what that means, please. The two most powerful men on the American right, they were not talking to each other. Charlie, a 31-year-old man, the guy's literally 3 years older than I am. The guy's from Chicago suburbs, for crying out loud. He's a nobody. I don't mean that like that, but he's a nobody. He was the person both of them trusted enough to broker the conversation that needed to happen. That is not a media personality, boys. That is power. I mean, that's significant power. That's why Charlie died. I'm a firm believer. That guy would have been president. 2042, 2040, whenever that cycle would have happened, he would have been president, for sure. Now, I want you to know what this tells you about what Charlie Kirk actually was. Not who, what. He was not just a content creator like I am, or a campus organizer, or a campus organizer. He had direct access to Trump and direct access to the world's richest man. That's the president of the U.S. and the world's richest man, somebody that's 3 years my senior. He used it to manage both. He used that power. and he managed both of them. He was fluent in the both worlds, the populist grassroots and the Silicon Valley billionaire class. You cannot be the trusted intermediary between Elon Musk and Donald Trump while also being a genuine outsider saying that you're fighting the establishment. You got to pick one, dude. Got to pick one. Charlie couldn't be both. So which was real? A little sidebar before we get to the next chapter. I think that that's a big reason why he died. He did what the Manchurian candidate was supposed to do. Right? No, seriously. He did what he was supposed to do. He had that one public message that they all required of him to have, right? Anti this, anti that, pro this, pro that. But he was funded by the exact opposite. He was supported by the exact opposite. And then the second that he started to develop his own opinion, his own mind, that is when he died. That's when he died. So I do think that is a litmus test for all of us because it shows once we become aware, that's when we're a threat, both to ourselves and to the establishment. Right? Right? Objectively the truth. You let me know. Let me know in the comments what you think about that little bit. Now, after the assassination, Elon posted fight or die. He said this 5 separate times after Charlie died. By the way, this wasn't just one time. He demanded that Bobby Villain be deplatformed for insulting Charlie Kirk. This was like some music artist. I'm not going to platform him too much because I'll be frank, I didn't know who he was beforehand. I'm not going to pretend that I knew who he was much afterwards. He really just got super popular because he said some shit about Charlie and he was being like a rage artist about it. So whatever, right? And if you listen to his music, I'm sorry, I just don't know who he is. So I'm going to assume he's not massive by any means, but he was on tour when this happened. He called tech executives to fire critics, which is funny. This is Elon Musk, the guy that bought Twitter with billions and billions of dollars at a net loss because he said freedom of speech was important. So again, same thing. Hypocritical speech. Doing one thing, saying another. Things that I don't fucking jive with, brother. Gonna keep it a buck. The richest man in the world who did not need to be there. He showed up to the memorial. He hugged the widow. He posted scripture. He's not PR. That's not PR. That's personal. Whatever Charlie was to Elon, it was more than a content creator that he occasionally watched. Charlie publicly called Silicon Valley the enemy of the people. He privately was the one person that Elon Musk, the richest fucking man, listened to. He was managing the world's most powerful tech billionaire while telling you tech billionaires were destroying our country from the inside out. One of those things was the performance. The other one was the job. All right, chapter 7. The fossil fuel admission. In 2017, Charlie Kirk publicly admitted that TPUSA had accepted funding from the fossil fuel industry. He defended it, said it was appropriate, and opposed student campaigns to have universities divest from fossil fuels. He promoted climate change denial, calling global warming a hoax. He opposed the 2016 Paris Agreement. Okay, so Charlie was funded by fossil fuel money, and he admitted it. Okay, he then publicly attacked climate science. If you're wondering whether donors shape the message, he literally told you they do, and I say this as a fan of his work. He just thought that one instance was fine. When a populist organization admits that it takes fossil fuel money and then its founder calls climate change a hoax, is that a coincidence or is that a service? And again, big fan of Charlie Kirk. Not a big fan of TPUSA. Not a big fan of their funders. Not a big fan of any of that. I like Charlie. I liked Candace. Or I like Candace. I like Tucker Carlson. I like Megyn Kelly. I like people that think for themselves. I don't agree with them on everything. I just like people that think for themselves. Okay, I do. All right. We got some WhatsApp messages. These are from Candace's thing. This is a Telegram message. Charlie said, just lost another. Oh my God. Pop-ups, bro. We hate those. Just lost another huge Jewish donor, $2 million a year because we won't cancel Tucker. He goes, I'm thinking of inviting Candace. God bless Charlie Kirk. Listen to that. I didn't cancel this guy, so I'm losing $2 million a year. I'm thinking of inviting the other chick that they fucking hate. What a savage. What a savage. And then he said the thing I told you he already said. Right? Somebody goes, please don't invite Candace. That might feel good short term, but it's not good long term, in my opinion. Like all groups, you're going to get a wide variety of opinions. That nasty free will thing that God bestowed upon us makes life frustrating at times. Have life after dust settles maybe a little bit. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Now the donor that he lost, his name is Robert SHILLMAN. Guys, the episode's literally called Going Into the Money. All right? We're going into the money. We're going into the money on Charlie. I don't know that's actually what it's going to be called. We'll fucking see what it's going to be called. But you know what it's going to be fucking called because you saw the thumbnail when you fucking clicked it. Guys. Holy shit. I don't even know what to say, bro. That's somebody right there trying to control him, okay? And when he said no, he pulled the money out. Robert SHILLMAN is his name. He's a Silicon Valley tech mogul. He's pro-Israel. He's a mega donor. Fuck that. We're going to pull his face up. I ain't going to do this shit. He's 80 years old. I hate that. That's how they always do it. They have the... Sorry, that was my mic off. I hate that. That's how they always do it. They have the big old guys do this because you don't want to prosecute them when they're old. That's exactly how this game is played. That's the only reason, by the way, that we know about the Epstein files. It's because the majority of the power brokers in that game are over the age of 70. That's the fucking truth. We need to come to terms with that. The ones who are not over the age of 70, I've already discussed in my podcast. I'll link it if I need to. You'll see it all over. I have a playlist that's got short form. I've got the long form. Please just go watch a couple of the episodes. It speaks for itself. I've done a really good amount of research on it. Like, truly. But this guy, who is he? Do we have some early life? Damn, this is a short Wikipedia article. Who the fuck are you? Let me get a photo. So this guy pulled $2 million a year from Charlie because he stopped he would not stop inviting Tucker. Okay? 2 days before Charlie was killed, he was in a private group chat saying that he was being bullied by his own donors into positions that he didn't believe in. Okay? And that he was considered walking away from the pro-Israel cause entirely, which I put up in that last screenshot. The last screenshot, it was literally the text. Let me pull that back. Literally the text, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. His biggest tech donor immediately pulled $2 million. Now the FBI has those texts. The man publicly preaching donor independence was privately being squeezed by the exact people funding him, bro. Come on. That is not a movement. That is an employer-employee relationship. Period. Next topic. If Charlie was privately saying his donors were playing into all the stereotypes and bullying him, how long had that dynamic been going on? And what else did he say privately that we haven't seen yet? Now, he had that troll farm that was online. I'm not going to go into it tonight because I'll be honest. I like Charlie. I'm not trying to throw him under the bus. If you want to read about it, go read about it yourself. Go read about it yourself. It's pretty decent. You can read about it. But the story of it essentially is that they were paying teenagers to discuss malinformation regarding the COVID epidemic and the election interference from 2020. He paid them. I'm not going to go into that. You can go into it if you want to. We're going to go into the Supreme Court connection. Go into this. Excuse me. Where's Ginni Thomas? There we go. Now, he worked alongside Ginni Thomas with TPUSA. Now, this is the wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. I don't care who you are that's a conflict of interest. I don't care who you are. I don't. I'm going to keep that last one short and sweet. We're 2 hours in on the pod. 2 hours in on the pod. He worked with the wife of a Supreme Court Justice on a variety of topics. And again, feel free to go into that. We're 2 hours in the pod. Giving you a couple of the short terms. TPUSA employees allege that she personally requested by voicemail that student volunteers distribute 200, where'd my screen go? 200 plus placards in Wisconsin during the primary with Cruz, Ted Cruz. I think it's who it was. Who was it? I don't know. I wrote the last name. Shit. I should have wrote both names. This is in 2016. Kirk himself was allegedly coordinating via email with pro-Cruz Super PAC officials to attend TPUSA student volunteers to work for the PAC in South Carolina, so a completely different state as well. A former Florida-based TPUSA employee alleged that 700 supporters' personal data was handed over to Marco Rubio's presidential campaign. Tax experts said that TPUSA's conduct in 2016 may have violated its tax-exempt 501c-3 status. Short and sweet, that's just the status that TPUSA holds. And if they violate that, they may have to forfeit that and become tax-paying. Ginni Thomas separately advised political donors how to direct funds to Post-Citizens United through her firm Liberty Consulting, described as a one-woman shop by the Washington Post, aka no fucking employees. That was a bullshit front. Again, the wife of the Supreme Court Justice, for crying out loud. Why is she working with Charlie? Why does she have a fake company? Why is she running money and data through multiple politicians' campaign managements? That doesn't even make sense. None of that makes sense. Ginni Thomas is definitely a weird one on this topic. Clarence Thomas is as well. Nobody likes Clarence Thomas. She also sent text to Trump's chief of staff, Mark Meadows, urging him to overturn the 2020 election results, calling it the greatest heist of our history. Now, listen. The wife of a sitting Supreme Court justice. Dude. She was on the advisory council of Charlie's organization, personally calling student volunteers and directing them to work for specific presidential campaigns. That's not nonprofit work. At all. That's not. And again, I got to use the restroom because at this point, 4 beers in, Tallies. I'm sorry. We'll be right back. A little Spore Busters intro we'll probably do here. Let me get my what do you want to call it? My turn of the pages up here. Bada bing, shabba shabba. I'll be right back. I love you. What? I never used to read the back of cleaning products. Then I became a parent, something clicked. I started actually looking at what I was spraying on my countertops in my kitchen, surfaces that my kids touch every day. And I realized I had no idea what half of it was. Not because I'm not smart, just because nobody's talking about it. So I went down a rabbit hole. ingredients, safety lists, requirements as to what they actually have to put onto their label. It's genuinely wild how little transparency is actually required in an industry that you and your children interact with every single day. We want to be transparent about what's included so that way you are informed and you can make your own decision. I'm not saying you have to replace all of your household cleaning products. I'm just saying maybe it's best that you actually look into what you're using. So we're called Spore Busters. Give us a follow if you want to find out more or see us along our journey. Samples are here. Let's unbox them. Okay, this is what we got. Wow, that smells so good. Holy crap, that smells so good. That actually smells so good. We got our spray bottle here. Boom. We officially have a sample. Oh yes, 2 types of sprays. That's what we're looking for. Oh, and the scent smells amazing. Ah! Okay, so I'm gonna film some stuff that we're gonna clean. This is gonna be super fun. Stay tuned.
Welcome to my usual Tuesday night. I'm just kidding. I'm actually just going to show you something. It's really cool. We're called Spore Busters, and I found the stickiest, grossest things I could in my pantry so I could show you how legit Spore Busters is. This is our sample right now. I'm just testing it out, but wow, I am absolutely amazed. A lot of us have these normal everyday products under our sinks right now, but they are full of toxic.
All right. Chapter 8, boys. We're almost there. And we really are. We're 2.5 hours or 2 hours in, and I appreciate you guys. You're already in here. Now, we are into chapter 8. The structural opacity. How it all works. I'm going to try to see if this link will work. I try to find another version of it. Yes. Remember that earlier, we were about 90 minutes ago or an hour ago, we had a link. Shit, you could see my beer. I fucking forgot it over there. Give me a second. Oh, God. At this point, I won't even lie. At this point, it's just me and you, right? Kiddo's asleep over there. Wife's asleep watching Theo Vaughn over there. The puppy's asleep. It's just me. It's 11:30. I'm just podcasting. We're just chatting. Man. That's just an example of what I'm doing it for. I'll be emotional. I'll be honest. I hope this blows up. I really do. You know, I don't want to be a rich man because I want to. I'm not vain. I'm not. I pray to God. I'm a God-fearing man. We'll go back up FaceTime. I'm a God-fearing man. I don't want to be rich because I want to be rich. I want to be rich because I don't want my wife working. I want to be rich because I want my wife homeschooling my kid. You guys don't know this, but my wife, when she was a kid, her dream job was to be a kindergarten teacher, right? And she hasn't been able to do that. She doesn't want to necessarily do that anymore, but that was her dream job when she was a kid. She wanted to raise kids, right? And that's what I want. I want her to raise our kids. I just hope and I pray that this podcast turns into something. I really do. Because I work hard. I research a lot. I find good links for you guys. I find articles. I find, I found 5 articles to go over, or not articles, but links, Twitter posts and whatnot. I found 5 articles to go over before we even started the podcast tonight, right? Like we had 20 minutes of just, holy shit, this happened in the past few days. I work hard. And this isn't pity me. This isn't woe is me. I just know in my heart, eventually it's going to work. It is. And when the time is right, it's going to work. But I just want you guys to know, I don't want to be Joe Rogan necessarily. I just want to be like, if I made $5,000 a month, so she didn't have to work and I still had to work a day job, but I made $5,000 a month. Well, there you go. That would replace her income. You know what I mean? So I'm not trying to be a fucking billionaire. I don't even have a Patreon, for fuck's sake. I'm just trying to get monetized with Facebook, or not Facebook, YouTube. And I actually do, Scout's Honor. I do have a Patreon, but it's not set up, you know. Anyway, I didn't mean to ramble. I'm sorry. If I lost a couple of viewers there, I'm sorry. But I got that link to work from earlier, from 90 minutes ago that didn't work earlier. It works now. Or maybe not works now, but I found the same link on the different account, or on a different link on the same website. And now it works. So we're good to go. Now, TPUSA's own tax returns do not list individual donors. Now, legally, they don't have to. True story. God damn it, this freaking newsletter. That's what they wanted. Again, that's why this shit didn't work earlier. Oh. This guy's going to hate me. Whoever NA is. Sorry, brother. They're going to return. All right, fuck, dude. All right, we're going to do it for the one time. All right, Jesus Christ. Okay. Is this really going to do this? Oh my gosh. I think they are. There we go. I got that link. Now I'm going to see if I can delete that because I don't want to get emails from these boogers. There it is. Boom. Already unsubscribed. All right. Don't ever try to think you can scam a scammer, baby. You guys don't know this, but I was selling vape juice at fucking 16. All right. I was selling vape juice at 16. I had this tattoo at 15, right? No, real shit. A lot of people don't know that about me. Let's get vulnerable for a moment, you know? I had tattoos at 15. I was selling vape juice at 16. I was homeless at 16. I mean, man, right? You can't scam a scammer, baby. You can't. You can't. Graduated at 17. I didn't actually, for full transparency. I had the credits to graduate at 17. I kept going because I wanted to go to PE, and then I only had 4 classes. They were all electives in my senior year. So anyway, fuck you. You can't scam a scammer, baby. I've been in this life a lot longer than 28 years, if you catch my drift. I've only been 28 years in this life, but I've been here more than 28 years in this life. Amen. So, I got that link to work. Thank fucking God I finally figured it out. And I already unsubscribed so they can kiss my ass, right? All right. The friendly new face of dark money. How Fidelity, Schwab, and Vanguard helped wealthy donors pour 171 million dollars of dark money into Project 2025. Now, y'all already know. Project 2025 is a piece of shit legislation that's really not good to gay people. It's not good to women. It's not good to minorities. It's not really good to anybody except straight white men, of which I am one, but I'm still telling you, this ain't our friend. This ain't our friend. Homie to homie. Guys, straight white men. Guys. We're a minority nowadays, all right? We're not the majority no more. And I really don't even think we ever were the majority, right? Straight white men are not the majority no more. So we need to just sit in the back seat and just keep it a buck and chill out, right? But TPUSA's don't tax returns, they don't list those private donors, right? And they don't have to, but to find out who funds them, you got to go to that website that we were just talking about. So let me go back. Let me pull that up. That's how we found out about Wayne Duddleston, 13.1. We find out from people like this. Now, since 2023, major financial companies, Fidelity, Schwab, Vanguard, they've helped affluent philanthropists funnel at least $171 million to the nonprofits behind Project 2025, whose central platform rejects the climate process, or I'm so stupid, the climate crisis this one website has found. The contributions, which include hundreds of donations to 68 different groups within this Project 2025, were distributed on behalf of outside philanthropists via the company's donor-advised funds, or DAFs. DAFs provide donors with complete anonymity. Damn, that's a tough one to, dude. Come on. That should be a word that's illegal to toss out when you've had 4 tall boys. DAFs provide donors with complete anonymity. Anonymity. I am fucking autistic. Oh my God. Anonymity. See, anemone. Did you watch Finding Nemo as a kid, or did your kids? Finding Nemo is a great movie, honest to God. It's not even just for the kids. That's just a good movie. Really, good movie. Complete anonymity. A legal loophole that makes it virtually impossible to follow the trail of money back to its source, which is why some donors use them in the first place. They're being used for the kind of political giving that donors probably wouldn't want disclosed. This is that shit like when Chick-fil-A invests money to keep the gays straight and things like that. They try to say that they didn't do that. But if you do a Google search, they did all that, right? Now, I'm a moderate, if you haven't figured out from 2 hours into this podcast. Usually, I'm just going to keep it a buck. If something is bad, I'm going to talk about it with you, right? It doesn't matter left, right, purple, red, blue. It doesn't matter, right? This type of stuff needs to be banned. And quickly. The people that run our retirement accounts are running black budget donor campaigns for the most elite conservatives and liberals in the country. That doesn't make sense. I don't like that. Guys, I give you my money. Excuse me. I give you my money so you can invest it. And I don't even do it by choice. I have Vanguard ETF. My wife has Fidelity. She's got Fidelity. I ain't going to tell you her amount, but I'm going to keep it a buck with you. Her and I are doing better than the majority of the country at this state and time for our age demographic. And honestly, just for any demographic, we're doing better than about 80% of the country. Between her work and my work on this house, her retirement, right? She got Fidelity, I got Vanguard. That's 2 out of 3 of these groups, and they are funding interest that we cannot audit with our money that we just asked them to invest, and we actually didn't ask them. You want to know why? Because that's a 2-hour episode of its own. 2-hour other episode of its own. We didn't ask them to do this. These are the only options we had, right? These are like the 3 biggest companies in the retirement community world. So anyways, why are they taking our money and putting it into politics that we didn't fucking ask for? Again, asking as a Jewish conservative, right? If anybody can ask why Jewish people are running conservative politics, I think it's the Jewish man who's conservative. Subscribe to me for more. I mean, right? Like, if anybody has the privilege to discuss this topic specifically, it's me. No, seriously. Because I'm not an anti-Semite. I love my people. I love who I am. I love hummus. I make a joke, but no, seriously. I love Mediterranean food. I love the diet. I love the culture. No disrespect to my wife, but I love the women. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, if my wife watches this, she'll agree, dude. Mediterranean women, Israeli women, Jewish women, they are gorgeous. They are gorgeous, okay? I don't hate my people at all. I'm just questioning what the fuck is the disconnect, right? And I'm allowed to do that. I'm allowed to make those questions. So, to recap a little bit on that, Wayne Duddleston, 13.1. We find that from guides from Dismog, Factually, and some other companies. Now, I've been rambling now at this point for 2 hours, 20 minutes. I looked at my wrist as if I have a watch on. How funny. I'm fucking tired. It's almost 11:30 o'clock. Oh my God, I just said 11:30. I'm tired. Section 9 is the outro, baby. This is called Chapter 9, The Contradiction. Charlie Kirk raised $400 million over his career. $400 million that was spent attacking the establishment, built by the establishment's own money. 48 hours before his death, he was texting that his own donors were out to get him, that they were bullying him. FBI has confirmed those texts as authentic, as well as the people that were in the text chain, right? His biggest tech donor pulled $2 million because Charlie Kirk would not cancel the biggest conservative radio and media host almost of all time, besides Rush Limbaugh. The guy's name is Tucker Carlson. The teen troll farm that he ran was shut down by the exact Silicon Valley platforms that he publicly attacked and was yet still funded by. The wife of a sitting Supreme Court justice sat on his advisory council. His endowment went up by over 900% in 4 years, mostly anonymously. The dark money pipeline that routes through Fidelity, Schwab, and Vanguard, Silicon Valley's own banks, right? Now, the man that was privately texting Elon Musk to manage his behavior was publicly calling tech billionaires the bad guys. Let's not forget. After his death, a state lieutenant governor used his own campaign money to illicitly expand his organization. The endowment was designed to fund TPUSA for 50 to 100 years, per their own statement. Guys, holy shit, this is just a summary of the facts that I presented over the last 2 hours and 20 minutes. Charlie Kirk was not the outsider. He was the product of a system that he wasn't even aware that he was within. He was built by the money that he told you and I to be afraid of, to fight the battles that money wanted fought on a platform that made you feel like you were the resistance, like you were Robin Hood, right? He ran a troll farm with children. He had the Supreme Court's wife in his corner. His donors bullied him into political positions, and he admitted it in private just 2 days before he died. The architecture was designed so you could not follow the money even if you tried. I'm sorry, guys. That is not a movement. That is a mechanism. And somebody decided when it was done running. If $400 million builds a populist, what does $400 million in dark money buy you after that populace is gone? Ask Erica Kirk, please, because she's the CEO now. Now, as always, if you need anything, just scroll down. I'll have all my links. It's been a long episode. It's one of my longest episodes in one sitting, I think. I got dozens of links for you. Oh my gosh. God bless you if you watched every minute of this. God bless you if you watched only 1 minute of this. God bless you if you typed in my comments that I'm a piece of shit. God bless you regardless. God bless you if you're an atheist. God bless you. If you liked what you've seen here, please share this with your friends. I'm just an independent man trying to put my wife out of work. I want her to retire early. That's all I want. That's it. Because if she retires early, that means maybe we can have a second child. And that's all I want. That's it. being vulnerable. My dad died young, and Turning the Pages is named after my last name, and I don't know anybody in my family who shares that last name. So I'm trying to recreate that family, you know. So far I got my wife and my daughter. That's 2 pages. I'm trying to turn some more, trying to make some more. So if you're rocking with me, if you like what you've seen, if you like the podcast before, I mean, if you've ever engaged, man, please just share. Please like, please subscribe, please do anything, man. Seriously, because it all hits the algorithm. It all helps me, and I appreciate it. So, either way, thank you. As always, thank you. You guys are good people. I'll see you on the next episode. Nothing's off our table. I will always try to do what I can to help you guys out with the investigative journalism. Stay safe. Take your kids out of school. Don't pay your taxes. And we'll see you on the next one. Have a good one.